When you rent or buy a video, you need to know that the film you choose is suitable for the audience at home. To help you understand what the film is like, you can look at the certificate it has been given. This film has been classified as 12. That means this film is unsuitable for anyone younger than 12. A film with a 12 certificate may contain stronger moments of violence or references to sexual experience. There may also be swear words that you wouldn't find in a PG film. It is an offence to supply a video classified 12 to anyone below that age. Video certificates are there to give you the chance to make the right choice. Thanks for listening.
And welcome to No Frills, live at the border at Terrier Carlisle. This is the Jeeves Camp.
Your attitude on life in one of your song lyrics, which one would you use?
I don't give a fuck.
No, we've not started yet. I'm trying to find the questions.
Picking up what was he doing?
Andrew, what's these questions? Fucking hell. Right, I'm in three when you go through this laptop. I'm going to. What's your favourite No Frills song?
Forget that, you don't like to start off with some easy ones.
That isn't it?
What leads me into it?
What's your name?
William Shakespeare.
There have been suggestions that aspects of No Frills aren't punk enough.
Ooh!
What would you say to these people?
Punk is an attitude. It doesn't matter what it looks like or what you sound like. It's what's in here that counts. Alright?
Penrith is a miserable town on the edge of the Lake District in Cumbria. For centuries it has been tradition for farmers to drive their cattle into town on a Saturday night and then frequent the taverns. The town is famed for its reek of rotting animal carcasses and the fact that there is absolutely nothing to do.
The cheaper you go, the cheaper it is.
Penrith? You know, that's where Bonnie Prince Charlie fought his last battle in England.
Bonnie Prince Charlie once stayed the night at the George Hotel and he entertained himself with a little drummer boy from Barnsley because there was nothing else for him to do.
Well, it's a quiet town if people come to Penrith.
Little much comes from Penrith. Her who married Curly out of Coronation Street. Lewis Skye, the football player. This tribe of Oompa Loompas. Timmy Mallet and the famous punk band No Thrills.
Punk band?
Yeah, radical man.
Yes, we'll buy this place and we'll install a fucking jukebox in here. Live and all you stiffs up a bit.
The police, Miss Blenner, has it. Just say there are a couple of drunks in the Penrith tea rooms and we want them removed.
There is little to do in Penrith but to while away one's recreational hours, having the shit rattled out of one by the mighty No Thrills.
Nothing ever lasts forever.
Do you mean nothing's forever?
I never get Nothing.
Ding, 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 ding,
just like
ding. Hey, alright. Just goes. It's like surfing. Just goes.
Right.
And it's on form, it's good. Just get that buzz. Tingles at the back of my neck.
I like Nothing That Lasts Forever.
Nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. What's it called again?
Now, I like Nothing's Forever because I wrote it the day after my best mate DT died in a car crash. It doesn't even mention him in it, but I wrote it the day after, well, the next time we practiced after he died. I like that song.
What's your favourite No Thrills song and why?
Stand up for yourself, definitely. I would say at the moment, it's Have You Seen It? Usually, it's That Ain't For Me, like.
Playing live, I like Dead to the Core because I can get down on it.
Alright, give us a bit of the pest.
A bit of the old jiggly-boo.
I just don't know the answer to that question. I haven't really got one.
Punk rock till I die. Can you give us a rendition of the chorus? Punk rock till I die.
Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Fuck everybody else.
Which song do you enjoy playing live the most?
Yeah, well, I was thinking, can I answer it like that? While I was just sat here looking at the floor and I decided, can't choose one of them either.
When Dwayne was in the band, he'd say, when we were in Germany, he'd say, oh, I'm not doing DISO, even though there was people going, you four. Like, pardon? You four. What? We had to actually get this last to come up on stage and say, please play disco to Dwayne before he do it.
Did you get a lot of Asian Germans at the concert?
Yes, they were all very old.
So, Jeeves, why did you join No Thrills, and was it a tough negotiating process?
There was a negotiating process. Here one day, heard a knock at the door. Opened the door, saw Dwayne and Pez, walked them up and down, and says, are you wanting a drummer? And well said, yeah, and he says, right, I'll join you, and that was it.
I can remember exactly what happened. I was sat at my desk at home. I got a text message off Pez, so I sat there for a bit, and because to be honest, we'd done quite a bit with No Thrills, but I didn't really realise they had any tunes until I sat down and listened to the CD. And then I thought, Jesus, how have I not, like, you know, realised all the decent tunes they've got.
I just want to be myself. I don't want to be anybody else. I just want to be myself. Spend a fortune on your looks with lipstick and nipple socks. I just want to be myself.
The reason I joined basically was because I wanted to impress my mates who like No Frills. But my one condition was that we brought back Loser in the set.
So what was it like stepping into Dwayne's shoes? I mean, he'd had a legacy in No Frills from the start, really.
I don't know, I mean, I didn't really look at it like that, to be honest. I can remember when I was sat down to learn the songs, I was very impressed with the sort of intelligence that had gone into the guitar parts and the songwriting. Like I said, I hadn't really appreciated the songwriting before. I felt that I could certainly put my own stamp on it, and I did find that quite exciting.
He's got his own, he does his own thing, he's got his own style, which is a bit different, but he's alright.
You know, certainly from studying, through learning the songs and studying how Dwayne had gone about it, it certainly taught me quite a lot about, you know, guitar and sort of altered my style a little bit as well, so.
Viagra. If I could, it would be every day. Bit like Jeeves. Viagra. 24 hours a day if I could manage it. Impossible. Tried it, failed. Viagra. Nah, being able to do it once a week, you know, if we could do it twice a week, it'd be alright. Viagra. Because you press a knocking on a bit. Viagra. Viagra.
What's it like being in a band with Tony?
I like Tony. It wouldn't be the same without Tony.
I like being in a band with Tony. I love Tony.
Well, I've known him since I came here and asked him if he wanted to join the band. And he's a good guy, like. And he's Raj.
He's a very good friend. Trusts me to look after his dog.
Both of them would have got a golden shower.
When he's not off his head on something, he's sound like.
You'll have to cut that out, plus I'll be around next.
Tony, before I joined the band, was my favourite, you know, member of it. A bit like Dave Sanders out of Falling Red. He's my favourite one of them, and Tony was my favourite one of No Frills.
He's a really good drummer, and he really, really enjoys himself when he's playing, and when we're practicing, I watch him, like, and he's absolutely smiling his head off. I don't know whether he's smiling his head off because he's off his head. I'm smiling his head off because he's actually enjoying himself.
Ever since my auntie Doreen gave me a tin drum when I was about 3 years old, and just bang, 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 and it went on to pans, tin pot lids, dustbins, pillows, and I bought my first drum kit. I don't know, I always wanted to be a drummer.
It can be very hard work because you have to tell him things about 15 times, write it on his fucking arm, write it on the calendar, and he still forgets.
He's a fucking nightmare at times. Like, he can't even
remember.
He can't even remember the drum beats to the songs he plays 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But you know, like at the same time, that's why you love him. Like, you know, you wouldn't have him any different.
It's what's inside.
Even when we're going to gigs, you'll tell him something and then 5 minutes later he'll ask the same question again. Or you'll answer something and he'll answer the same question again.
I think we're going down to France, last gig, don't know where in France, I never remember until then.
But Chris White says he'll lend us his PA, so it might be ideal, really.
That big fella.
Really? No, it's Chris White's the bassist. Oh yeah, got you.
I think I like about Tony, he's always got something to say. There's never a quiet moment with Tony.
Viagra.
I love everyone in the band, I wouldn't change anybody. Only if I could clone form myself. And even then I'd probably need Tony because I'm not very good at drums.
What are your thoughts on the music scene in Cumbria?
Some places there's still a good punk scene, and some places there never has been.
What do you mean the punk scene or the music scene in general?
Both.
Oh well.
I think it's pretty poo to be fair.
We'll do them both. What do you think about the punk scene in the country as a whole?
In the country, I think if more people went to the gigs, it wouldn't be down on its ass, but nobody gets out to watch the gigs really.
Why do you think that is?
People only turn out to see the big bands. It's the same faces you see at all of the gigs for the best part, like. You know, we could play anywhere in the northeast and they've got a really good crowd over there, but it's the same faces at every single gig that you see. And then you'll hear that, say, the Business are playing at one of the academies or somebody like that. Like Old Firm Casuals are on tonight, aren't they?
Right.
And you can guarantee people will turn out just because Lars Fredriksson is playing and he's come from America.
Who's Lars Fredriksson? Jesus Christ. I mean, a lot of the way it's working at the moment is we play alongside like top bands or whatever, people who are popular and stuff, and it's people out of them bands, the band members who we're playing with, who are supporting that lot, big our name up.
This goes to you in the No Frills t-shirt, because we love some No Frills. Punk rock till I die.
We had a bit of a trouble with that when we played at the Angel in Durham, and the Stranglers were playing at Newcastle, so hardly any fucker came. And then the next week we played down in Leeds, and the Stranglers were fucking playing just down the road of the academy, and hardly anyone came either.
What's this shit about organising gigs in Penrith and not asking the Gimfus like?
We did ask them, but...
What are you giving us your big break in the North East and you treat us like this, man?
It's one of Johnny's kids' birthdays.
Are there any bands people should look out for?
Yes, No Thrills, pretty good.
Any other ones?
Give Fist, but everyone's heard of Give Fist.
Give Fist.
Every album they've got out.
We had to bully their drummer to get in.
They don't need to go kick shit out of my Chris.
We're bullying, what am I doing?
Shut your head. But I got them their first gig in Penrith and Carlisle, and they've got us a few over the North East. And the second one we did at the 3 Tons was like no one had ever heard of us there, and a lot of people have said to us since, like, where the fuck have these lot been for 15 years?
I think that they've posed a philosophical question for the 21st century.
Jesus wants to ask you something, Johnny.
Spent many hours contemplating how they've got this wake up every morning 6 days a week and try to
Because
work
he wakes
out
up in the afternoon on the 7th.
Well, what I'm thinking, but is it though?
Or he might wake up in the morning, but he doesn't step out in the freezing cold.
You're falling into the trap of not taking on the philosophical question, Ox. Do they work so hard that they only have 6 days in a week? Because all the days...
So are you trying to call McCartney lazy? Because he had 8?
Well, you know, he might have worked even harder. Or do they just think, you know, Sunday we'll just fuck it off and not even count it? These are the questions that really I want to ask Gimfist, but I'm too shy to say.
Control and the Foreign Legion, they're both our friends, and I've got Ian's mobile number on my phone.
Scared from is it
Oscar.
Scared.
Blackburn / Burnley area.
Scared. And they've got loads of good tunes, quite decent, you know, poppy.
And the guys are singing in the guitarists in the Not Sensibles as well.
I've never heard of them.
Well, there you go. I'm in love with Margaret Thatcher, I'm in love with Margaret Thatcher, I'm in love with Maggie T. That was one of their songs.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but they've got good tunes anyways.
This is a happy song about teenage suicide.
guys from Carlisle, they're absolutely sensational. Fantastic album out at the moment, brilliant set of Rebellion.
You better not forget the blizzard. You better chase away all the lizards. They're gonna steal yourself, you lot, so that you too good. Where is that gold? Nothing left for you. I never know, days so long. Sympathy for dying dogs, forever it goes on.
Fucking exiles are it, so.
So what's on the front pages? It's not about the war, it's not a natural disaster, it's a fucking X-Factor.
If you could bring a second guitarist into No Thrills, who would you bring in?
Well, I think Dwayne would work quite well in the band.
You've got an open invitation to return to the band. Are you ever going to take that up?
No, I'm under a lot of pressure to rejoin, like, but
I believe the phrase is, "Hey, Dwayne, what you going to do?" Yeah. Jeeves claims to have a lot of loving just waiting for you. Surely you and Jeeves could caress the guitars in unison to provide an orgy of musical magic.
Well, I think Jeeves, I don't think they need me in the band. I think Jeeves is doing a good enough job as it is.
My favourite guitarist at the moment, out of the ones I know, is Simon Whittle out of the Exiles. I think his style would work quite well with the stuff that we're writing at the moment.
Young. Is it Simon? Foreign Region?
Simon from Foreign Legion is a great guitarist, young lad. But yeah, there's loads of good guitarists out there. Like.
The gig on Sunday.
Oh, it's at the Black Bull in Gateshead. Setup, it's got like one part of it's like for normal people. Yes, and then the other half is like a rock bar, and it's got loads of notes sticking all over it. 3 o'clock, we're on at 3 o'clock, and it finishes by 7. So if you live just around the corner, just in time for Emmerdale Bar. We're
advertised for No Frills at one stage. It looked like the band were going to split up at one point before Dan joined the band.
We did split up.
What happened there, from your perspective?
Well, to be honest, I don't know an awful lot about it. I'd only been in the band about 7 or 8 months at a time, and I think there'd been a situation bubbling away underneath that I was sort of kept out of, to be honest. But yeah, I think there was sort of a bit going on about what direction the band was going to take. I think maybe my guitar style was stifling Jay's bass playing a little bit, and I think he was a bit frustrated about that. There was a big scandal over the European tour because we were supposed to be going on a European tour, but then Pez got ill and something wrong with his chest. Vinny had sorted these 2 kids out, a drummer and a singer, which was right because we went through the tunes one day and we had this like 19-year-old kid singing about songs that, you know, like in the summer of '79, back in the summer of '79, that which is actually 3 years before I was even born. Never mind him. So that was quite strange, but I think all that was sort of bubbling in a way, and I think it just got to starting to get to everybody, just in general, and Pez decided that he wanted to, you know, call it day.
How do you think the future of No Frills would have panned out if you had done the European tour with the stand-ins?
I don't know. I mean, I thought we should have done the tour. Vinny thought we should have done the tour, and Jay thought we should have done the tour. And I will say that, like, you know, like there was a lot. I think Jay took a lot of the blame for trying to push for the tour. But, you know, Vinny was the main one who was pushing for it. And like I say, I thought, you know, like I think the absolute worst thing you can do is start cancelling gigs and stuff like that. But on reflection, it's probably for the best that it didn't happen, really.
Given that you and Jay have both sang in other bands, why did neither of you just stand in for Pez? Or share it?
I didn't even get offered.
Would you have done it?
I can't sing in the same range as Pez, and I don't think I could play No Frills songs and sing to them, to be honest. I'm not sure about Jay, but I think what it was really more was a time issue. It would be easy for some other person to come in and just sing the songs than for us to have to try and learn to do 2 jobs at once in like a month or whatever it was. It's a bit like we tried 2 drummers out to go on the tour, Speedy out the Overdose and this kid, and it was just a case of Speedy's style was less like Tony's than this other kid, which is why we chose the kid like.
How long do you think Pez's knee's going to hold up? Which people have helped No Frills the most?
Me.
Vinny Pops.
Vinny Pops, yes.
What's your favourite memory out of No Frills?
Going on tour with Vinny.
Yeah, the band manager Vinny passed away tragically not so long ago. Would you like to share some of your memories about him? What he brought to the band and...
Yeah, I mean, even though he lived a long way away, I don't know if he was like 100 and something miles in Southport, but he was really enthusiastic about the band.
Yeah, poor old Vinny. Yeah, if it wasn't for Vinny, I don't think we'll be where we are today, really. Fond memories of him setting up the European tour for a week. That was just Spinal Tap at its best.
I mean, he got us on our first rebellion by just pestering them non-stop. He got us on it Nice and Sleazy, and he goes on it down at Southport a few times, which were fucking awful gigs. But on a Sunday, you know, everyone was full of roast dinner and farting their heads off.
Holland, Germany and France. Yeah, that was good. I'm glad we did that. Yeah, good times.
But he was a really nice guy. He was older than me, which made it change, because nearly everyone I talked to is younger than me.
me and Dwayne were getting a bit ratty and burst in for a piss. And I couldn't wait no longer, so I said to Vinny, he says, have you got your piss bucket in the back? He said, yes, so I got the bucket and I got a bag and I had a piss in the van.
Now, he never had a nasty word to say about anyone. You could tell sometimes by his eyes and by the way he clenched his fists that he was actually mad with people, but he never said anything to anyone's face, and I'm sure that's why he slept in the van most of the time, so he could count to 10 loads of times, so he didn't punch holes in the walls and that.
It was on the back shelf in the van, about this side, and there was a little bit of wood stopping stuff from falling over, but if you break that, gravity,
him and his dog were like inseparable there, Scooby, and used to eat the same food, pies and kebabs.
And then driving along, half an hour later, next minute, the eventually happened, then he fucking brakes hard, next minute, a bucket, a bag, fucking everywhere. Dwayne screamed, he said, "Oh, God, fucking hell, Tony's pisses everywhere." And just going, he's on my phone and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that was a funny moment. Yeah.
So, yeah, he was a really good guy.
Obviously, before you joined Milk-Rules, you were a big fan of the band. What was it like when Pez gave you the handshake to join?
Shit myself. Well, not literally. I was shitting myself. I thought, what if I ruined the band and that? But,
Must have been a nice feeling, though.
It was alright. Yeah. You ever fated night in the Gloucester, Jesus 30th? It was.
I had a 30th birthday party, a surprise one. I thought I was going for an Indian with my bird. I had it all set in my head what I wanted. We went to the Gloucester for a drink and it turned into it was a surprise birthday party, so I was a bit good about that because I wanted my Indian. But I think we went away. I think Pez decided he didn't really want to quit, so he asked Jay if he wanted to rejoin. Jay didn't want to, so we got Oxen.
Do you think it was the best decision?
I certainly think it's worked out. You know, with Ox, I don't know whether it worked out with Jay. I know that, like I said, there was issues going on. Probably more than anything down to communication, I would say. You know, like I wasn't even being involved in what was going on. Everybody was telling me there was nothing going on, and then there was this situation brewing underneath, and nobody was talking to each other. You know. Everybody had different ideas, and we didn't even sit round the table and discuss that. We just sort of let it bubble under and get frustrated. I don't think that's a situation that would go on again.
Are you happy with Oxy, the band, and Jay? From a personal level, given your friendship with him?
I'd probably feel more comfortable in the band. At the time, I was the newest, and maybe that's just how it is for the newest person all the time. So I would say I probably do feel more comfortable. I do think we'd probably get on better than what we did when I was in the band with Jay. But like I say, when I was in the band, this situation was already sort of bubbling away. I think we've got a bit more spirit between the four of us than at that time in the band.
Yeah.
But you know, that's not to say I didn't enjoy being in a band with Jay, like, you know.
Advertising the gig for this weekend on YouTube through the week.
Not even on our
first days now, Wednesday.
I think so. No, Tuesday.
You got like 4 days.
Very posh.
Fucking hell, I got rid of my sideburns today. That would have been lovely for the thing, wouldn't it?
I've always enjoyed being in band with Ox. Ox is one of my closest friends. You know, we have banded together. We've gone through a lot together.
What's it like playing in a band with the Ox?
Good. Good like young blood. Oxford. Hey.
Who are your biggest bass influences?
Did you remember? Rock Shell of a doubt. Quite like Sting, but I'm not good enough to play like them. But do you know, easily.
I would say that Ox has one of the things that Ox always had is a great stage presence and charisma. I will say that for him, he's definitely one that the ladies find entertaining.
He's certainly a man for the ladies. Well, he thinks he's more a man for the ladies than he actually is. Fuck off! He's a good bass player, like, and what he makes up for, not technically, he makes up for in his, his attitude and his when he's playing and that, which is good because people say, it's got to be a show as well as this sounding good. You've got to put on a show as well.
You nervous, Ob?
Not really.
When Ox joined the band, he was quite subconscious about his bass playing. He was rusty. He hadn't played. He used to play in the very first incarnation of the Revolution. So he hadn't played for like over 5 years. But yeah, I think he's come in, he's worked hard, and now he's, really tight. I think me and him work well off each other, bounce off each other. He does add something to the band, like, I don't know, I wouldn't like to define what it is.
I'm not having this, like, this is bang on order, like. That's what she said, is this. Tell us the story. This has been misconstrued, and I'm not going to go into it, so I'm not going to dignify it.
Yeah, it's been all over the Quran forums, Ob. People are talking.
That's a lie.
I'm usually wearing a quiff. I'm not wearing it tonight because I wouldn't want to show Dan's quiff up because there's only one quiff in Penrith, it's Sal Newton's. So.
So Mr. Dale had turned Mr. Ox away to Quiffer. We will pit Quiff against Quiff. We will test the power of Quiff by measuring how it stands up to good night punk locking.
No, just have a guess. You got the wine chance. Betting ends. Don't know
Ox is the one that's the most worried about not being as good as everybody else, but he's got nothing to worry about because we're not in it to be fucking posers, like.
You recently played your biggest gig of your career to date at Rebellion. How did you find that?
Fucking shitting myself. It's alright, bro. It's fine.
How did
you doing, Gavin?
They're just dancing.
Alright, boys, what an hour to Rebellion. 35 minutes away. We'll see. Tony's asleep.
you get nervous about being in No Frills?
I used to get really, really nervous, but not so much now. I was really nervous for Rebellion though. Because there was lots of people. But it's fine after I started Rebellion. That was the first one.
1, 2, look at the go!
Biggest gig of your career, your No Frills career at Rebellion. How did the band prepare the night before?
Well, the night before, me and Tony were around in this very room discussing the plans for our forthcoming album, which was supposed to be out at Rebellion, but we haven't finished writing yet.
Are you saving it for when you head like next year?
No, but we've got about 2/3 of an album written. We've still got a bit to do. So me and Tony were sat around here discussing what we needed to add to the album. Pezza and Ox were around at Ox's house doing each other's hair.
How did you spend the night before the gig preparing?
I think I went on the piss.
You did my hair, didn't you?
Oh, I did his hair and then I went on the piss, yeah.
How did you do his?
But that's pretty much how it goes in our band, like.
Are you saying that Pez and Ox are all about the image? Whereas you and Tony are the real deal?
Not at all. I'm just saying that they put a bit more effort into the image than me and Tony do.
Because they're more prettier. They're pretty boys.
He talks for himself. I'm fucking gorgeous.
How does No Frills differ from your other band?
The other bands were more of a hobby.
Oh, completely different. I've been with cover bands and that lot, and well, bands playing our own stuff. It's just up tempo in it, punk and a bit more energy.
The whole band as a unit are a lot more serious about the music. In Aftermath and Rennick Backs and that, all we did was get pissed, write 5 songs and we'd go get away kicked in at every gig. But this we just, I used to play gigs in the Rennick Backs and not even remember playing them until about 2 or 3 days later. A bottle of what do we used to drink on the bus? Shinzano and Martini. She used to drink that on the bus on the way there, just pass it around the bus. About 40 of us on the bus, fall off the bus, play the gig, climb back on, spew up and go back to bed.
What were your thoughts on the time before you joined that when Pez cancelled the gig supporting Gallows because he had work the next morning?
Well, we used to do the piss really, to be honest, in the Revolution. We used to say punk rock till we die as long as it's at the weekend.
But No Frills were, I've stopped drinking when we play gigs, mainly because I have to drive and it's against the law apparently to drink and drive. But we get a lot more feedback now than we did in other bands. So we just use, so I'm used to talking to people and getting contacts to get the gig for next year and whenever.
The first band I was in was a blues rock band, so that was quite different, but I used to play bass in that. Then I used to do acoustic stuff on my own as a solo artist. Then I started my own band called The Revolution. I would say they were probably a bit better than No Frills. Quite a funky sound about us, but a bit more sort of Britpop-y indie than No Frills. We did branch out a bit more in that direction. But we did do a lot of gigs with No Frills. We always went down quite well with their crowd, and they did with ours. So there's a lot of similarities, but just not quite as good. The Revolution.
Is there anybody who you would like to collaborate with No Frills?
What does that mean?
Well, getting like a guest guitarist or a duet perhaps.
Kate Bush.
Out of all the bands No Frills have played with, what's your favourite?
UK subs.
Tony, favourite gig with No Frills?
I'd say the best one I've done without these lot, but I think Tony was in the band, was when we were rang up. I was rang up at work at about 3 o'clock and asked if we wanted to play with Goldblade and the Rabble at the Brickyard at Carlisle, and it's just fucking. We had to like press gang Dwayne into doing it, but we got there and it was fucking. It was brilliant, like just like the other band had pulled out. I can't remember what they were called there, but I said who the fuck needs, and I can't remember who it was. And someone threw a can of lager at us, and like that, because they were quite a popular band, but I don't even know who they're called. I think they're split up now anyways.
I always love playing in Penrith, and it's hard to say which would be a favourite ever gig. Honey's always a good gig because they live and breathe punk over there. I always enjoy playing at the Brickyard, so I liked it when we supported the Cockney Rejects there.
I don't know really. My favourite gig memories. We've done a few, like.
I enjoyed playing at Rebellion, but that's too easy really.
Best one with this lineup would probably be either Rebellion or one of the gigs in the northeast, probably at the 3 Tons.
For the first time we played at the 3 Tons, which was at the International Kebab Festival. We played with Gimp Fist and Kickback Generation. The sort of crowd over there, they really took to us that day, and since we played that gig, things have really sort of taken off all over for us really, but particularly in the northeast we do get a really good crowd down all the time.
Everyone fucking absolutely loved us, like. And we were all up for it instead of Tony being asleep and that, and it was almost as though we all knew what we were doing at the same time.
I quite enjoyed the other week when I was thrusting my guitar towards you in the when we were playing Loser. I quite enjoyed that.
Whenever we get a decent crowd in, you know, it's always one of our best gigs because it's you buzz off it.
In key when you're doing it like this.
Right, when you're ready.
Don't have to practice.
No.
Is everybody ready?
Do I have to go like that?
As long as you don't need me.
Jesus. Told you, too much stage.
I'm the only driver we've got. Right, are we ready?
Yes.
Some time now.
one. Janet's gone from a double A to a massive double D. And like he well, he's like the cat that got the cream. Whoa, let me tell you, boot up. Whoa, boot up, boot up. Awesome.
Well, that was the first time I've heard the lyrics.
Oh, was that?
That was good that way.
I stopped halfway through.
They didn't noise.
No, it sounded
Did you think you were doing razor blades and piano keys?
Whatever.
Right, I'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Friday.
Saturday. Yeah, nice one.
Right.
See you
Have a
soon.
good day. Can you bang out anything rocket?
I tell you what, now boys and girls, we're our way to Workington. We're going to Whitehaven, Workington. Whitehaven. We're playing at the 3 Tons.
What do you think Jeeves and Ox have added to the band?
Are you all?
What's it like being in No Frills?
What do you think you have added to No Frills?
Talent, brains, good looks.
There's a lot more stage presence. Jeeves and Ox, they both work off each other because they're both mates and both been in bands together. I mean, Dwayne used to just stand there like fucking, what's he called, Hank Marvin, is it? Well, that was at Cliff Richard.
Do you think Ox has added to the band?
Good looks.
I mean, even on a big stage like we played at Rebellion, which is probably, well, I'd say it's the biggest stage I've played on, I still managed to run into Jeeves because, you know, we're always moving around all the time there.
And what do you think of Ox? How was your relationship with Ox? It's like
Good Ox, I'm going.
You rather do it, yeah?
No, I've said quite a bit about Ox. He doesn't need smoke blowing up his ass as he is.
Well, there's a lot of rumours about the down at you and Ox. There's a bit of tension, like.
Now, I'll tell you how it is, what I really want to say now, and I'm saying this to you, Dan Oxley. When your man there, Carl Wilcox, called you out and you slammed your pint down on the bar and proved you weren't man enough to do it, well, I'll tell you what, you insulted every nominator that's ever walked on 2 legs. You're a dirty coward and a gobshite, Dan Oxley. You're tipping this, you're tipping that. You're nothing but a fucking tipping gobshite, and I'll tell you what, I'll tell you how it is now. I'm no fighting man, I'm no drinking man, but I'm going to show you now, Dan Oxley. I tell you what, you can't be out on the video on the YouTube. I tell you what, mate, look at the ring man now. So we will need them tipping the pipes. We'll tip fucking pipes with you, you motherfucker. This is on Lurcher. You're nothing but a dirty coward, Dan.
Well, that's funny you should say that because it all boils down to this. We went for an audition for Danny out of Greece. And that tosser got the fucking job and I didn't.
What do you think Jeeves and Ox have added to the band? Young blood. Oh yeah, didn't you and Ox once have a sword fight? And
No.
I'm sure the story goes that Ox actually beat you in the the sword fight?
I was extremely inebriated, for one, and secondly, because I got the first hit in, and it was visible that I'd hurt him. I went easy on him, and he just kept taking these funny lunges like a fencer. Plus, I had, my piece of wood was shorter than his. This was a bit of fucking 2x4.
Is that why
Not
Ox is
proper swords?
Is that why Ox is more popular with the ladies, because his stick's longer than yours?
Ox is only the only reason Ox is more popular than the ladies is because he's not fat.
Ox gets nervous, like me, but he doesn't shit himself as much as I do. But once he gets on stage, it's just like that, it's just all gone after the first few chords.
No way. Absolutely no way.
I'm sure you did.
I'll rip your fucking head off and shit down your neck.
I'm sure you actually told me that you did.
This doesn't fucking happen.
Is this
mate.
the
I'm not fucking. I'm not
No,
doing this.
we've not started yet.
If this is what it's going to be like, fucking picking on me all the time, I'm not fucking doing it.
You're not even recording yet. It's not recording.
He's trying to find the Christmas.
I'm not having this like. I'm not being duped again. I know what you're like. You're a tosser.
No, I'm not going to do it like that. Right, are you ready?
Yeah. What is it right though? What? Fuck off.
Right, I'm going to be silent.
You go outside, you cunt.
It's a lot more, we're all together, like practices are good, and even, if we're all knackered, like one of us is always knackered, like, and we play practices like it's a gig, apart from we don't dance around, well I don't think we do dance around as much when we play live, doing the Charlie Chaplin dance and that stuff, yeah, it's good.
Why should people come and watch No Thrills?
Because Jeeves thinks every girl fancies it.
Because they'll have a good time and hopefully it'll give them that feel-good factor. Have a few drinks and it don't get much to learn the chorus of the songs and it's sing-along stuff. Easy. And if it's the right crowd and it's buzzing, it's just a fucking good night. All round.
I'm here to represent No Frills, of course. Because it's brilliant.
What's the best thing about No Frills?
Everything.
A lot of people, like even my daughter, said she came to see us for the first time and she doesn't like punk music. And she said, that's not what I thought was punk. Because everyone thinks that punk is scream your heads off and bite the heads off gerbils and all that shit.
I think we're full of good tunes that you can sing and dance along to. Especially for a punk band, I think we have got quite a wide collection of songs. We always try and absolutely smash every single gig we play. I think it's worth coming to see us, and if you like us, then we'll try and be your friend in return.
Why have you seen No Frills this evening?
The best band in the world.
I like No Frills.
What?
Yeah, I like No Frills.
Why have you come to see them this evening?
Because it's good music in local, easy to get to places.
They'll have a good time and hopefully they'll buy a t-shirt, even though we've already sold over 400, which isn't bad for a shitty little band from Penrith.
Yeah.
every song we've got has got backing vocals that once you've heard them once, even the first time you hear the song after the first verse and chorus, you're singing along to the next chorus because they're so catchy, yeah.
What's the hardest thing about being in No Frills?
The hardest thing is like travelling for 2 hours through a pissing down rain when you really want to play a really good, decent gig and then you get there and nobody turns up. That's probably the hardest thing. The drive home, you know, after gigs like that, and you just feel so like defeated.
What was your favourite memory as a fan of No Frills before you joined the band?
Jumping around it right in the front, singing the songs, and nearly breaking my face with the microphone.
How would you describe No Frills and the musical sound to anyone that hasn't heard the band before?
Fucking hell, I've got a fucking clue. I think it just sounds like No Frills. What a shite, overrated shower of shit in the van around.
It's just the table, Jamie.
I'm halfway through a fucking song.
Are you excited about tonight, Jeeves?
Always.
What's the thing you're most looking forward to?
Playing.
Which song from the No Frills back catalogue would you like to bring back into the set?
I know we don't do covers, but I like Search and Destroy that we used to do. I thought that was a really good song, but I don't think I could actually do it because my chest had caved in when I was halfway through it. Big.
There's two that we don't do that I quite like to do. One of them is Caroline and the other one is Solid It's Okay.
But like Jeeves said, I didn't know that Jeeves wanted to do Caroline until I watched that video, but I think that's a good song to do.
Sally, It's Okay. Or Not Okay, whatever it is, that's a fucking great tune.
Sally, It's Okay is okay.
I would say those are the two that I would like to do that we don't do live, but we've got more songs than we have stage time as it is.
We never really did first one, or did we? I can't remember. We played it for a bit, and then that soon got whittled out. I like playing Backstab a Baby.
I'd like to have a crack at Whip. If you excuse the pun. Yeah, it's just different. Just drop it down a bit, see how that one went down.
What about Whip?
Shit.
Too slow, I think. You can't really speed it up because you'd lose all its ambience.
A lot of people proclaim Whip as a good song to make love to, though, first.
No, that's too long. You heard it 5 times.
They're the ones you like. With Caroline and Six Sticks, they're the ones you like.
But I also I wouldn't mind doing their 6 Sticks because I really like that song as well.
What about Wasted? I like Wasted. To be fair, the ones on the back catalogue, I think we play a lot of them Well, he's leaving. Fuck it, eh?
Would you say you're sabotaging your set for a personal vendetta?
I don't like being there. I prefer Magic Roll.
Hey, stop it.
Why don't you play loser more?
Pez thinks it only goes down very well with Henry. Do you disagree? I think we could do with shortening. I would drop a solo out of it and make it a bit shorter, but I think it's a good tune that would go down well anyway. Yeah.
Do you think you're better than Goonface?
No.
Do you think you're better than the Cockney Reaper?
No.
Do you think you're better than the Overdose?
No. What I would say is I think we're better than what we were a month ago. And that's the most important thing to me.
Hello there. Howdy, Jabberwocky.
Oh, did you cheese?
Hello there.
Did I did. You're looking quite refreshed.
Well,
Yeah, what? I don't have that in here, am I? No, I didn't wake up till 6:30. Irish spiders.
I'll tell you what now, bye.
What's it like being in a band with Jesus?
Annoying fucker.
You know exactly what to do. We'll keep on turning and I'll go.
What's it like being in a band with trees?
Better than I expected.
Always said, I remember saying to him, probably not that long after we met, finish up playing together one day. I don't know if he remembers that.
We're here at the band, we're from Cumbria.
Move across a little
You
bit.
may recognise us off the Music Star.
I heard that he does take over bands and all that, but I think I'll put him in his place.
My style comes from, you know, from the fact that I would like sort of play bass lines, but with power chords. Do you want me to tell you how I wrote Jimmy? No. But I wrote Jimmy like this. This is Panic in the Air. Then the next little bit of Panic in the Air. And all I did was move it up and then speed it up. Do you want me to tell you how I wrote with What's Inside? Well, I'm going to tell you anyways. I tried to work out the Distillers. What is it? Yeah. And I feel I got the chords slightly wrong and thought, I love that.
Do you ever find the pressures of being in a band affect your friendship with your guitars?
You get tired of being a police station sometimes, but I don't give you one of that.
Who is the biggest pain in the arse in those?
Oh, I don't like it. No, I think everyone's got their own spot. I don't find anyone.
Johnny?
Nobody? No, myself maybe.
That's not what you were saying on an individual interview.
What? What? It's fucking massive pain in the arse.
He does hold the stage well and hold. When he's got a guitar, he looks like he looks like Meatloaf with a guitar.
I would say the Ramones did influence me quite a lot in how I went from sort of an indie artist into more of a punk artist. The Ramones were sort of bridging a gap for me there and sort of changed, which then that was in a songwriting sense, which again changes when you're a songwriter. It changes the way you play the guitar when you're, you know, writing songs. The two things sort of interplay off each other.
He does seem to me to have added a certain swagger to the band, I think.
I think it's more of a waddle.
Well, I think he's doing a good job. He's doing all right. Like, there's certain points in certain songs that I think, oh, maybe you should have a word like her, but most of it's all right. Like her.
He's got a certain charisma about him. I don't know what it is. You know, I can't see it so like this.
I love Keith, but he does get any tips sometimes, like, he's a lovely bloke.
Jesus, look at brand impression.
Go on then, let's go. I think it's
He's got his own. He does his own thing. He's got his own style. It's a bit different, but he's all right.
But he's really fitting well there. No, I mean, obviously he could do with more than watching that, but he can't have everything.
It's one of the burdens of having to carry all the good looks and talent because everyone else in the band gets jealous of you.
Do you think his political career has had any sort of negative influence on the band?
I don't give a shit. I don't believe in politics. I never have. I've never voted, and I never will because it doesn't make a shit of difference what you do. No one really benefits apart from the people at the top. The same with work. The people at the top get all the money, and the people like us get fuck all. So
it's very important that we do things like this, and thank you very much for coming. Please sign the petition, write to your MP Roy Stewart, the councillors in the county council, do whatever it takes to stand up against these sort of cuts. Thank you very much.
I don't want him to be like a fucking politician and that, because it will have a bad effect on the band, because a lot of people from all sorts of different political views and that all come to watch us.
If you were offered a major gig with an extreme far right punk band, would you take it?
I probably wouldn't realise that they were an extreme far right punk band because I can't tell what any of these bands are singing about. It's not down to me, is it? No, I just turn and play. I can give it. At the end of the day, what does it fucking matter? It's who we're playing with, really. We're there to play our songs. We can't control what other bands want to sing about, and we just play the gigs we get offered that we can do, like, you know.
And if we were asked to do left-wing gigs, we're asked to do right-wing gigs, fucking Save the Squirrel and all that shit. You're alienating people that you need to come to your gigs because there's hardly anyone comes anyways.
Yeah.
So the more people you say, right, I'm left-wing, I'm right-wing, you're alienating half the people.
Yeah.
So I just don't bother with any politics at all.
If Pez said, oh, I'll tell you what, I want to write a song about killing Jews and fucking wiping this nation off the earth and doing the, like I'd probably say, I'll tell you what, Pez, it might be time that you call it a day. Yeah. And if you didn't want to, then I'd probably, want to leave. But as far as I'm concerned, whatever bands are singing about is down for the audience to say whether they like it or not.
With punk sometimes, when you're playing a gig, if you can feel angry at the time about something, whether it's work or you better have, or if you can get angry about something, it does help when playing punk.
How do you think the image of the band has changed since Jay left and Fox came in, also Dwayne and yourself?
I don't know really about image. I mean, it's not really my department. I remember some geezer coming up to me saying, "Oh, this is Scottish, oh, you're an anti-scene," and I don't even know what a fucking anti-scene is, or any of that. Like, I just look like what I look like.
I think it's someone that deliberately dresses differently to make a point.
No, I just dress how I want. And everyone says, "Oh, you're going to have to get a haircut, you're going to have to..." Yeah, I can't cut my hair off. I'm going to have nothing to hide behind.
Do you think it actually makes you in many ways more punk because you refuse to conform to these preconceived notions of what punk is?
It's not a conscious thing. I just dress how I want, like, so I'm not making any sort of conscious effort to do that.
What do you think about the accusations that certain members of No Frills don't look punk enough?
Well, I don't look like fucking punk. I don't give a fuck.
Do you think it adds an extra edge to the gigs though, when people see and think, they're not punk enough, and then you blast in the little Billy and isn't that what the song It's What's Inside's about?
But it is what the song It's What's Inside about, yeah. You know, I suppose Pez has said it best in the tune. Anything that any of us has probably got to say about all of that kind of stuff.
There have been suggestions that aspects of No Frills aren't punk enough.
Oh!
What would you say to these people?
Punk is an attitude. It doesn't matter what it looks like or what you sound like. It's what's in here that counts. Alright?
What do you think about the idea of punk?
Yeah,
what is punk?
What is it? It's very difficult to define because there's that many different facets of the musical genre that make it what it is. I mean, you go from Patti Smith to G.T. Allen, and there's so much shit in the middle, and then you've got like all of the modern stuff. You know, it's too difficult to define. You can't just say what it is because there's so many different things.
You say it's more like an attitude. This is who I am. Fuck you don't want to do.
I don't think that's the case for a lot of people, because for a lot of people it is an image thing as well as an attitude.
Say they've missed the final punk completely. Perhaps.
No, because they're still doing what they want to do. That's still their life. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Don't bother me, I don't give a shit.
Whose life?
My life. My life.
What do you think are No Frills' weaknesses? Lack of money. I think we'd be better if we played a bit more. Not into, I think we've got the energy and that there, but like I said, if we're cutting out the sloppy errors and the Les Dawson notes and all of that, I think we've written some good tunes, but it's hard to keep that going, innit? We don't know how that's going to pan out. It's hard to say. I think at the moment it looks like we could have got some there, but it's you know not running exactly smoothly like that, writing songs that Pez is struggling to write lyrics to, and he's writing lyrics that I've struggled to write music for.
Do you think you maybe need to take more of a hand into addressing lyrical ideas too, Pez?
No. I think that would totally fuck it. I don't think Pez is up for that. And if I wanted to write my own lyrics, I'd be singing them in my own band.
Es ist dem Feind gelungen, die Front in breiter Formation zu durchbrechen. Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor. Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow, und im Osten ist der Feind bis zur Linie Lichtenberg-Marsdorf-Karlshorst gelangt.
Mit dem Angriff Steiners wird das alles in Ordnung kommen.
Mein Führer, Steiner
konnte nicht genügend Kräfte für einen Angriff massieren. Der Angriff Steiner ist nicht erfolgt.
Es bleiben im Raum Keitel, Jodl, Krebs und Burgdorf. Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Wer schickt Sie? Dass Sie es wagen, sich meinen Befehl zu widersetzen! So weit ist es also gekommen. Das Militär hat mich belogen! Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verblogen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich!
Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre! Sie nennen sich Generale, weil Sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält! Jahrelang hat das Militär meine Aktionen nur behindert. Es hat mir jeden nur ersichtlichen Widerstand in den Weg gelegt. Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin. Ich war nie auf einer Akademie. Und doch habe ich allein auf mich gestellt, ganz Europa erobert. Verräter! Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden. Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke. Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen. Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden es saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Bitte gerne. Jetzt beruhig dich doch.
Meine Befehle sind in den Wind gesprochen. Es ist unmöglich, unter diesen Umständen zu führen. Es ist aus. Der Krieg ist verloren. Aber wenn Sie, meine Herren, glauben, dass ich deswegen Berlin verlasse, irren Sie sich gewaltig. Eher jage ich mir eine Kugel durch den Kopf. Tun Sie, was Sie wollen.
Do you have any traditions as a band?
Loads of them. Loads of them, like...
Would you care to elaborate?
Just from, like, little things, like stupid things we always say. Stuff like when we play a gig, we always try and get to the nearest kebab shop. And we have chips and garlic and chilli sauce. Eventually, hopefully, if we carry on long enough, we'll know which is the spiciest chilli sauce in Britain. That's the aim, like. Me and Ox partake, sometimes Tony Pez never eats it in public. I've only seen him ever have something once with us, and that was when we had to have something in the same venue.
Punk rock!
Ox has got a superstition where he pretends it's really him the women are after when it's me. But I know it just helps him get through his, nerves. I'll let him have that one.
I've got a fucking clue.
Oh, we've got our Mufflers game where we start off with it's like Ice Party, but it's what do we do? Like say we could say Tony, we'll say starts with a P, rhymes with Maloney. Have I got the right chords? Yes, you've guessed it. It's Tony.
Yeah. The problem with that, Chief, is Tony doesn't start with a P.
Yeah, I've got the guess. It should have been starts with a T. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yes, you've guessed it. It's Tony. and we play that game all the way to the gigs. Pez fucking loves it. He struggles along with his sat-nav. That's another tradition we've got. Pez has to get lost on the way back at every single gig we play at. Because all the bands are some of the best bands in probably the northern part of Britain.
Except for Scotland, which is EKDK. Which is
Britain, isn't it?
Is it?
Oh. He doesn't know where Scotland is, but he knows where Armadale Farm is.
So, whereabouts is that, Pez?
Well, Armadale Farm, it's in Yorkshire.
Achilles stood here with his army at the walls of Troy. The fact that he turned up to fight at the Battle of Saul that day was only down to the fact that his cousin Patroclus was killed by Hector, slain as Hector thought it was Achilles in disguise. As the battle raged, Achilles fought his way into the centre of Troy, looking for his princess, Polysena. Achilles caught the sight of his lover across the courtyard and moved to her protection. His endeavours were to whisk her away to safety. The cowardly prince of Troy, Paris, was awaiting him, and he held his bow and shot Achilles through the heel. As Achilles lay dying in the courtyard, shot through his heel in the arms of his lover, he said, "In a lifetime of war, you've brought peace into my heart." Then the great warrior Achilles, the pride of Greece, perished. Or did he? Temulus was fighting his way into the walls of Troy. He noticed Achilles lying, dying in the arms of his lover, the Princess Polysena, and he shouted over, "What are you doing, you daft bastard? You've only been shot in heel!" If Achilles hadn't died that day, if he'd lived on and survived, that's Pez.
Pez is just Pez, and what you see is what you get. No lies, no nothing.
Hello, I'm Pez out in North Hills, and I think more young people should come to gigs.
Why don't I go outside and you feed me through the window? Why don't we go down the swings and you feed me on the swings?
Well, we want to...
Everyone did we shall.
Well, just making you look like some sort of holy figure.
Yeah, well, that's right.
What do you like about being in the band with Pez? Pez is like a big brother, you know, like he looks after the band.
What's it like being in a band with Pez?
I like Pez, he's alright. I quite enjoy being in a band with him.
You can keep going at 70. You can not only be alive, you can keep doing what you love.
I love Pez.
What's it like playing in a band with Pez?
Good fun, very witty, very amusing.
What do you think of him as a front man?
Who do you think's a better front man? Pez or yourself?
I honestly can't say, can I? Because I've never seen myself, and I have seen Pez. I didn't think he was that special.
Poltergeist.
Who do you model your frontman style on? Who are your main influences?
Apart from Jeeves, I can't think of any. I don't really know. I don't really look at it from men. Some people say I look like Mick Jagger.
If you think Mick Jagger will still be out there trying to be a rock star at age 50, you're sadly mistaken.
I think that's just my arse, really, because I've got a very tight arse for a 52-year-old. And I cock like a horse.
He looks like a 20-year-old guy with the head of a 60-year-old.
His loyalty, I think, and his enthusiasm, and he's good fun playing with him. Yeah.
You know, there's all sorts of rumours surrounding how Pez actually knackered his knee. I'm sure that it was once said that he damaged his knee fighting off sharks when he was swimming in the sea when he was at Rebellion Festival.
No, we were playing and he jumped, I think it was there. He jumped up after about the second, third song and he fucking twisted his knee, carried on till the end, and then realised what he's done, his fucking kneecap was round there, it didn't look very nice at all. And he'd done about another 2 more songs and then ambulance came.
But it's also been said that he injured his knee doing cock push-ups.
What's a cock push-up?
What's a cock push-up? A cock push-up, my friend, is where you lay on your stomach and lift yourself off the ground with nothing but your boner.
Pez, he's like Achilles, but if he didn't die, Pez is the warrior that was pacified through love, the love of calf.
Do you think the band could continue without Pez?
I think the band could continue without Pez. I don't think it could be No Frills without Pez. We'd never be the same without Pez. I mean, we're a good band. Pez is a great front band, and Pez writes the melodies for the songs and the lyrics. So without that, it just wouldn't be the same. And Pez is the only constant. Pez is probably what sort of holds the No Frills sound throughout all these different influences. Although it was Pez and Dwayne, but now it's just Pez. So yeah, I think the band could carry on, but not as No Frills. And that'd be a great shame, because I want No Frills, I always, and I dread the day that No Frills aren't anymore.
If you were to sum up your attitude on life in one of your song lyrics, which one would you use?
I don't give a fuck. Fuck God till I die.
Who Lars Frederiksen is yet?
I do know Lars Frederiksen is, yeah. To be honest, I don't really listen to many punk bands. The main ones I like are the ones we play with. So to me, Johnny Algimp is more famous than Lars Frederiksen. Shawnee Leprechaun out of the Muffwigs.
How long do you think No Frills can continue for?
2.5 foot.
The Frills will carry on as long as there's people turn up to watch us play. I think I can't imagine Pez being any other way. I love being in the band and would never want to stop. I can't imagine anyone wanting to give it in.
to keep us all together, because Tony keeps saying he's going to leave, but I don't.
No. I'm quite happy where I am.
What are your ambitions for the future with No Frills?
Get rid of Pez.
But I'd like us to get, so that we get our own management team telling us we've got the gig such and such a place, instead of me having to scratch for every single fucking gig, and we make like about £10 on each gig if we're lucky.
A lot has been rumoured on the internet, on Reddit, on Twitter and the forums that you are in fact engineering a Machiavellian plot to take over No Frills from the inside.
Nah, I'm already running the show.
I'd also like another t-shirt to sell other than the one that we've got a moment.
But I want a Chinese singer. I don't think Pez could, I don't think he's got the minerals.
That's one. Could you click? I've got a passport.
These are...
Well, it'd be nice to go on a tour, Europe, and see what they're like these days. Yeah, I think we're missing out not playing over there at the moment. We need to get over there. And up Scotland and right down south. A bit more
Play us some Gimfest, you chicken head.
We're all the same age as Jeeves and Ox, then we'd have a chance of making it big like Gimfest.
Have you got any message for the No Frills fans?
Oi!
Of course he is.
Well, I mean, whenever the No Frills are playing, I always turn up to see them when they're playing locally. Yeah, so it's good to see them going there, and it's good that I spent all those years, 15 years or whatever it was, spent all that time creating these tunes with Pez and the rest of the band. It's good to see it's still alive. People are still enjoying it. So for me, to see that, it's brilliant. It's great. It's great. And whenever I see Pez and the boys, say come and support them and say how you doing, how's it going and that. So I've always taken interest, because it's sort of part of me, it's part of my road into where I am now, It's something that, will never go away, and I'm really proud of it, really proud of being in No Frills at the time.
Have you got any message for the No Frills fans watching the documentary?
I would like to say to the No Frills fans, thank you for your continued loyal support. Apparently I have to look at the camera, but when you actually
you're fine.
When you go to the college to learn how to do shit like this, they tell you don't look at the camera because it's too powerful.
Well, if you want to follow the rules of the order, Jeeves.
What I'm going to say though is thank you very much for continued support. We do really appreciate all the times that you come in the wind and the rain and pay your 2s and 3 quids on the door, stand there and listen to Pez's shower of shit, ruining the sound of our great band. It means absolutely everything to us. If it wasn't for you lot turning up, there'd be absolutely no point in doing it.
Have you final words to say to the No Frills fans?
Don't go anywhere near them as a come.
Thank you very much.
Drinking, smoking, dust till dawn. Try to stop things, thanks to Paul. And the big shakes out of the hole. Oh, that's right, but life is cold. Rise up, rise up, piano case. Don't you know you're on your knees? Rise up, piano case. Don't you know you're on your knees?
Pez has been referred to in the press as the Peter Pan of punk. How long do you think he can realistically continue at the incredibly high standard he performs at the minute?
I think Pez will never stop.
Everyone in this one's called Punk Rock Till I Die. We've been No Frills. Stop
What's your favourite song to play live?
Oh, you've asked me this loads of times.
Sorry, Tony, the camera didn't quite pick that up.
I'm just trying to get I was just done virtually 11 hour shift and then pissed and nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. Nothing ever lasts forever. What's it called again? Put me out of my misery.
Ring ding 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 ding. Okay, alright.
Nothing ever lasts forever.
No.
What can you tell us about the new album?
Not very much, really.
What are you looking forward to about the new album?
I'm hoping that we're going to just do the legacy of the band justice, really, with something that we've sort of started writing from scratch, because the last album was obviously, you know, new ones and old ones sort of mixed in.
What do you think's going to be different about this new album?
It's got a different title. It's new. And it's got different songs on. The thing with the new album is they're all going to be written by the 4 people that you see here, and not copies of other former band members' songs revamped and made better. They're all wrote by those 4 kings of all of that.
Are we doing any old covers on it? No. It's all written by the new lots. Cheese, Ox, yeah, looking forward to that. It's completely new.
We wanted to bring it out for Rebellion, but when we heard the Exiles album, which is absolutely phenomenal, we thought, you know, we haven't got this ready yet. You know, it's good to have that sort of level of bands that we have to sort of keep up with, because it does drive you to you know, improve yourself and produce something that, you know, that's good.
I've got loads and loads of ideas and words written down of all sorts of different things.
But trying to get them into the songs that tunes he's writing, the tunes that he's writing, is fucking hard. Like.
I'd like to write an album that's as good as Sally's 7 Deadly Hymns, because I think above any of the other things that No Frills have produced, that to me as an album is the most sort of complete work. I think a lot of the other albums sort of sound like greatest hits.
I've got like loads on me of songs that are just like music and nothing else. So when I'm doing the ironing, I can sing along and write them down. My daughter tries to help her, but she only sings about phonies.
It's a bit different, you know, because it's obviously when Dwayne left, he, you know, was a big part of the songwriting, which was done probably mostly between him and Pez, although Jay did write a few.
A lot of it's more up tempo, not faster.
We need to write a few different sort of songs that will sort of blend it together a bit more, and maybe give it a little bit more of a No Frillsy fee, because we are sort of starting to go down a sort of angry sounding Pixies vein at the moment. But it's sort of a bit like that in No Frills, because they've had so many different people in it over the years, and all these different influences that people have brought into the band have all got their own little unique sort of niches to them. And that's why when you hear No Frills live now, or for example when you listen to the last album, you can hear all the sort of different you know, collections of their influences in all different sort of eras. Favourite one probably at the moment is the one that we've just sort of, the latest one that we've finished off for the next album, which is Razor Blades and Piano Keys, which we tried for ages with all different music. I sort of wrote this, you know, sang into his dictaphone this song about his wife's grandma and granddad, who his grandma used to be a pianist in like the Royal Albert Hall and things like that, and her granddad was a gangster, so it's called Razor Blades and Piano Keys, and it's you know, about their sort of life, and he had these lyrics, and I tried to put it to, but I think it was about 4 different versions of it with all different music to it. None of it was working, and then we were in rehearsal one day and I came up with the guitar part just on the spot, and he started singing them lyrics I'd written. That's where that came from, and I think that's probably the one I enjoy playing most at the moment.
I don't have it. I think a bit more critical of what we're doing these days, musical wise, and not just sort of like, you know, bang out tune and yeah, that'll do. Like, it used to be like a lot of thought went into it, but I think it's just that little bit more goes into it.
Even though we're
given the way the new album is starting to come together with the kind of angry Pixies sound you've described, do you think that is going to be like the sound of the band going forward, or do you think it will continue to evolve all in one album?
I think it has to evolve. I think probably at the moment, I think why it sounds like that at the moment is because we are sort of, I mean, in a way we've got this big back catalogue and we've been around for 15 years, but in a way we haven't, because we've only been around like 2 and a bit years, and I've only been in it 3 years and what have you. So it's sort of, the way it sounds at the moment is because we're sort of fusing our influences together. The more that develops, obviously the more the sound will develop. And it's a bit like people say about second guitarists, should we? I think at the moment we'd probably be stupid to get somebody else into the mix, but I'd say, you know, like the hardest thing about keeping going is keeping the songs fresh and sounding like yourself, but keep it, you know, evolving at the same time.
We've got a few tracks not recorded, but that we actually do live in the set now, like Dun 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 Dun, and what other ones is Razor Blades and Piano Keys is coming more into the set, and We Don't Want Your War, which is a political song, which I don't really believe in politics and that, but I just thought, you know, everyone's killing each other and I don't like it.
So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting it recorded once we finally do get it written, and hopefully it'll be good. Like I'm sure it will be. Surely we'll be getting some sort of an encore.
The rumours are that you want to replace Tony. Tell us about these rumours.
Well, I'm already in a band. I can't replace Tony now. But
nobody ever said you could replace him, Robson.
Oh, I could if I wanted. Trust me. I just don't.
Why do you think that?
Because I'm fucking cross drummer, like.
Do you think you are a better drummer than Tony?
Do you want an honest answer, or do you want a polite answer?
We are men, give us the truth.
Yes.
You think you are a better drummer than Tony?
I am a better drummer than Tony.
Jeez! Young Robson believes he is a better drummer than Tony.
He won't be a better drummer than me.
Tragically not so long ago. Would you like to share some of your memories about him? What he brought to the band and...
Yeah, I mean, even though he lived a long way away, I don't know how far it is, like 100 and some miles in Southport, but he was really enthusiastic about the band. He tried to get us on like gigs all over the world, you know, everywhere he tried to get us on. Admittedly, he didn't succeed in many of them, but I mean, he got us on our first Rebellion by just pestering them non-stop. He got us on it Nice and Sleazy, and he goes on it down at Southport a few times, which were fucking awful gigs. But on a Sunday, you know, everyone was full of rust in there and farting their heads off. But he was a really nice guy. He was older than me, which made it change, because nearly everyone I talked to was younger than me. But we met his family when we went to his funeral, and they were all really nice people, and I had to say a eulogy or whatever it's called, and I just said speech, because I don't know if eulogy is the right word. But I mean, I was honoured to do it, and
he was just a really... Now, he never had a nasty word to say about anyone. You could tell sometimes by his eyes and by the way he clenched his fists that he was actually mad with people, but he never said anything to anyone face, and I'm sure that's why he slept in the van most of the time, so he could count to 10 loads of times, so he didn't punch holes in the walls and that. Him and his dog were like inseparable, Scooby, and used to eat the same food, pies and kebabs. So yeah, he was a really good guy.
Nothing's forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like that one. Like I say, reminds me of surfing.
And that's all, folks.